How's it going, YouTube? It's been a minute since I've done one of these Candid cruising videos, but I thought I might as well make a comeback and have a chat with you guys about boredom. So I've been away for a while. I've had a few things going on. I've been in a bit of a rut. And I've just had a lot going on in terms of my little brother getting sick. He had glandular fever and strep throat at the same time. Deadly combination of illness to have. Since then, I've just been a bit inconsistent with YouTube. I haven't been as productive as I have been in the past. A bit of a mini rut. I was playing games again. I was gooning. All the shit stuff that goes along with instant gratification. So that's why I've been inconsistent with the uploads. And the one where the prolonged progression series video that I dropped about a couple weeks back is some of the stuff before I went in that mini rut. But now that I'm back, it's all go again. So today I want to talk about boredom and how it's actually a gift, but so many people don't want it nowadays. I'm going to be referring to my phone a lot during this video because I have a bit of a freestyle script that I've done for it. So you're going to have to bear with me. So if you're watching, I want you to think about the last time that you were bored. The last time that you sat with your own thoughts and you just thought to yourself, damn, there's nothing to do. I'm super bored. Like, when was the last time you were genuinely bored? Not waiting to do anything, actually just sitting by yourself and thinking. And if it was a while ago, it could be because of what we fill that time with nowadays. And it's this thing right here. It's your phone. For a lot of people, the phone is something that fills that gap consistently. Whenever there's nothing to do, whenever you're waiting on something, our first instinct is to grab our phone, to go on our phone, to watch short form, or just something that keeps our mind stimulated, in a sense. An example, if you're watching television and sometimes if an ad break comes on, some people will just grab their phone, go on their phone, scroll Facebook for a bit. Another example, if you're lying in bed, you can't get to sleep. Instead of meditating or instead of reading a book, you go on your phone. The point I'm trying to make here is that we have engineered boredom out of society. Infinite stimulus is everywhere. There's literally no reason to be bored, or there's no way for you to be bored now. There's always something on your phone that can stimulate your brain or to keep you from being bored. And there's a bit of an issue with this. It's that we've engineered it with these smartphones and these devices and all that. And we've come to frame it as being productive. You know, I'm working on my phone, working on my laptop, but really, are you really working? Or are you just filling that gap, that void in your brain where I'm just doing this so I'm not bored? And to me, what boredom is it's not a state that needs to be solved. It's not something that you need to get rid of when you have. It's almost a state that needs to be used. The way I see it is that boredom is your brain signaling to you that you have spare capacity available. What this means is that spare capacity that you have when you're bored is where some of the greatest ideas that you will ever have come to your brain. You get ideas, you become creative, you just get a bit of clarity with your thoughts. You start problem solving in a way. it's also a good way to reflect on stuff that you've done in the past or stuff that you would do in the future planning. For me, these past maybe month and a half of my rut, it wasn't until I recently stopped flooding my brain with cheap dopamine that I actually got to sit with my thoughts and think about how terrible this has been for the past month and a half, and how I need to get back into the swing of things with my routine and continue with the consistency. It was pretty bad for me once I sat back and reflected and just thought about what I was doing to myself, to my trajectory over that past month and a half. I was still kind of moving forward in terms of learning new skills. I'm always trying to learn. The music side of things for me didn't take a backseat. I was still uploading new beats to YouTube. But when I was at my best, my spare time was used reading a book, or it was used planning content or recording content for this channel, not my music channel. So it's been a bit slow, but it's back up to speed, and that reflection allowed me to go back to before it happened, what led to those events happening, and preventing it from happening again in the future, coming up with solutions to stop it from happening again. And I wouldn't say it's failure, but it's almost just learning in a sense. Yeah, I broke a couple streaks, I went into a rut, but more important than anything else, I learned, and now I know for the future. So I think this next cycle of momentum should be a good one, because I know what to expect now. I have more experience. Now I want to talk about how a lot of guys think that they're always busy, but they're never getting anywhere, and that's because we have, as I said before, we have our phones, which are there filling the gap every single time, and it stops you from progressing in a sense. It's the dopamine that keeps you thinking that you're progressing, thinking that you're moving forward, but it's stealing your attention, and it's stealing your time and giving you a false sense of progression. And there's a lot of power that comes from just letting your mind wander and come up with solutions for things. You know, I've had heaps of business ideas come to mind where I've been bored. I've cut stimulation from my phone, I've cut stimulation from TV, I've cut stimulation from pornography. I did that all for an extended period of time, and within those months, I've come up with a plan. I've come up with business ideas that are fully tailored to my individuality as a person. You know, my skills, my hobbies, my interests, as well as fulfillment, it all comes in together. And that was just from me being bored and thinking about ideas and things that I could work on and things that I could do to improve myself, instead of filling it with pointless scrolling on the phone or content consumption. So touching back upon the boredom, the idea of boredom, and what we've replaced it with. So we've basically replaced it with doom scrolling. Doom scrolling was literally designed by world-class psychologists to defeat boredom. All the algorithms on all the social media platforms, all designed to keep you in the loop and delete boredom. And for a lot of people, their idle moments are spent looking at somebody else's content, looking at somebody else's life. That time that you spend looking at other people's lives and wishing how great your life was is time that you could be spent improving your own life and making it into a life worth living that you want to live. And when you're constantly consuming other people's life, other people's social media, you get rid of that boredom, yes, but you're also never really thinking. You're never really thinking for yourself. You're never thinking about your future or your trajectory. You're never thinking about stuff that matters, that's relevant to yourself. And the irony behind all this is that you will consume other people's content, but it makes you less interesting as a person. It makes you less creative. It makes you less original because you may just be copying what you see on the trends, and everybody is watching what is trending. Everybody's familiar with all the internet slangs and the meanings behind things. So you become less original. It's almost stealing your individuality. So what happens when you start to actually sit with your boredom and sit with your thoughts? If you're so used to scrolling on social media, you're used to flooding your brain with dopamine, whether it be from porn, from playing video games, the first 10 minutes can be very uncomfortable. Seriously. And that discomfort is information. It's good. It's good that you are feeling uncomfortable, because at that point in time your brain is so used to the infinite novelty of the algorithms that you're going back and you're craving that dopamine hit. And when you push past that initial discomfort and you sit for longer and you just stop and take time to think. Sorry, my camera died, so I've switched up the angle here to keep it out the sun. It was overheating apparently. So as I was saying, the first 10 minutes are super uncomfortable when you're sitting through that discomfort, but your brain starts to work again after sitting with yourself for more than 10 minutes. It starts to connect. It starts to take information from different parts of your life or from different time points. It starts connecting the dots. It starts firing. Those neurons start firing. And what happens is you might get a little light bulb about a business idea that you might have. You might think about a problem that you've had in the past and how you can come up with a solution to help not only yourself but other people that might be in the same situation as yourself, as you once were. And problems from the past, they resurface and they start solving themselves because you have the capacity to think again, to come up with logical solutions for solving those problems. As I said before, those ideas that you didn't know you had or you didn't know that you were capable of generating start generating, and they're genuinely good ideas. These are ideas that they tailor to your individuality. They make it so that only you are capable of doing and achieving it because it's special to you. This kind of state of mind that you get in is where your best business ideas, your best content ideas, your best training decisions come into play. It's not coming from another video, like even this one, for example. It's not even coming from something like this or something else that you may watch on YouTube or social media. With myself, I've noticed that the clearest points of my thinking have come from things where, I'm just driving in my car, or I'm just going for a walk outside in nature, or I'm just showering, or I'm just sitting with no stimulation. It almost gives your brain a time and place to flow and to use all of its power, because our brains are super powerful. They're the engine behind our bodies, or the little things that our body does automatically that keeps us alive. It's all signaled by the brain. And our ability to create, our ability to move, it's all from our brain. So we're super powerful in that sense. Wrapping up, what am I talking about with this? I'm not saying throw your phone in the ocean or anything like that, but what I am saying is to start leaving gaps, just intentional gaps, where you're not filling that void with social media or YouTube or anything in that matter. Go for a drive. No music, no podcast, nothing. Just go for a drive, go for a walk. Listen to the sounds of nature. No headphones. When you're training, no headphones. Just let your brain be bored and see what your brain does with that boredom. See what kind of ideas that come to you when you are bored, and how amazing they are, and how just one of them could completely change your life. To me, I personally think that most people that I look up to, the creative geniuses, the entrepreneurs, they have more silence in their life than the average person. and it's not a bad thing. They use it to their advantage. They use it to think about the problems that they have faced, to think about issues within society and the world that they could solve. So do that for yourself. Stop filling every gap, because some of them are just meant to be left empty for your own benefit. Yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for today. I appreciate you dropping in and listening, watching. I apologize again for the inconsistency over the past month and a half. The shorts should have still been uploading, but just the long form content has taken a bit of a backseat. I was in a rut and I'm pretty much back now, so it should be back to how it was before with the weekly long form upload, spitting as much game as I can. Keep improving yourselves and keep working. Remember to stay hungry. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.